Hi guys, as you know, this week we are starting our three-dimension shapes section of our geometry class, and we have gone over two-dimensional objects and what it means to be two-dimensional, but I wanted to make this video just to show you if you need extra help in class, if you're kind of having a hard time understanding. We're going to have a little bit of discussion, we're going to fill out some worksheets and go on some cool websites, but this is going to be a review for some of you and kind of introducing some new material in ways that you haven't really thought about before. So in this discussion, we're going to have our class discussion first. We're going to talk about what 2D shapes look like, what 3D shapes look like, what makes 3D shapes different than 2D shapes, and what are some examples of 3D shapes that you can think of that you want to share with the class. And we will also look at some 3D shapes in this class as well. So when we talk about 3D shapes, we really talk about curved surfaces. And some examples of that, cylinders have a curved surface, cones have a curved surface, and spheres have a curved surface. So those are all shapes that have a curve on some side of them, and that makes them different than 2D shapes because 2D shapes do not have any curves whatsoever. When you're talking about 3D shapes, you're also talking about faces. So for a shape to have a face, it means it has a flat surface somewhere. Examples of shapes with faces, we have cubes, which this is a cube, and this would be a face here. Rectangular prisms, which is this is a face, this is a face, this is a face. Cylinders, the faces are here, and at the bottom here, you can't see it, but it has the same face as the top. And then cones, the face is actually this part of the cone right here, the flat part. This makes them different than 2D shapes because all 2D shapes are just the face. Another thing that 3D shapes have that 2D shapes don't are edges. Now an edge is a shape is a line where two faces meet. And I showed some examples of a prism and a pyramid. Here on this edge is where one face meets and the other. Same here. Here's a face and here's a face. On a pyramid, the face is right here, face is right here, and here is the edge where this face meets and this face meets right here. Another aspect of 3D shapes that 2D shapes do not have is a vertex. Now, a vertex is a point where two edges meet. And I'm going to show you on a prism and a pyramid again because I believe it's just easier to go with shapes you already know. So the vertex here, we have the edge here and the edge here. This is where the edges meet. This is the vertex. Right here we have an edge, and this is where they meet, creating a vertex, which is completely unique to 3D shapes. Now we're going to talk about some real life 3D shapes, and as we already discussed in class, you're going to bring in a shape. We're going to have a shape museum, and we're going to show examples of 3D shapes that we see every day. So in our classroom discussion, we're going to talk about how these two shapes are alike and how they are different. And you're going to use the examples we have in our worksheets and online and through this presentation to explain to me how we're alike and how we're different. This is another, I just wanted to give you guys some more examples to kind of show you, shapes alike and how they're different. This is an actual pyramid of Giza, and you can see here it's got the faces, it's got the edges and the vertex here. This is like a block like we use in class blocks, faces, edges, and vertexes, and you're going to tell me how they're alike and how they're different. And I'm just adding some resources for you. I know that you guys are really smart, really hard workers, but in case you need help, we're going to visit this site again. And as you know, it shows us 3D shapes, 2D shapes, what really makes a 3D shape and what really makes a 2D shape. And then in class this week, we're also going to make some 2D shapes, make some cubes, kind of have fun with that, and just bring it all together for you guys so it's really easy to understand, and we'll do really good with it. All right, guys, thanks so much.